Hello, you guys. Quick heads up on the video that we are about to watch. This thing was a remarkably difficult to film. There was no space to work on, and I had a very hard time just doing the job on this particular video. So doing the job and recording it at the same time was it was an uphill battle, to say the least. So if you guys would please cut me some slack on the quality of filming here. I did as best as I could to capture everything that maybe we wanted to see. So if it falls short of what you would consider a normular type of deal, please don't hate on me too much for it. I did the best that I possibly could. That being said, let's get on with it. Beginning video now. Hey Dave, what are you doing over here?
I'll get this harmonic balance off.
Oh, that little guy? Yeah, the timing cover is coming off of this one. We're doing a reseal on it. We got an oil leaker Ford Escape 3-liter V6, right Dave?
Yep.
This is we're all kind of tag teaming this one over here. Justin was doing some brake work, Dave's doing some engine oil work, and I'm going to be doing some transmission work, and that's what this particular video is going to be about. This thing's got a transverse mounted 6-speed, transverse meaning sideways because it's front wheel drive. Is this all-wheel drive? No, it's a negative. Yeah, this one's a front-wheel drive with a 6-speed. What's happening is that the vehicle will not start when it's in the park position. You got to click it back into the neutral position, and then it is authorized for cranking. So one would normally just go, oh, needs a neutral safety switch, and we're going to throw in and have a nice day. But the problem with this particular transmission is that the neutral safety range selector switch is actually internal to this unit. So we've got to pull this front cover off right here to get access to that unit. And that's what this video is going to be about today. So let me get prepped up. Let's get after it. We got a lot of work to do. Stay tuned. This is going to be a very good repair video. Okie dokes, getting ready to do this. I've got the oil drain pulled up because under this cover, we're going to find the transmission's valve body assembly. And since the valve body is in there, that means we're going to find a bunch of fluid. The flashlight came out of nowhere. That means we're going to find a bunch of fluid in there too. So we need to go ahead and drain this unit out before pulling this cover off, or we're going to have a big old mess. So it looks like we've got a spill plug right here. I said spill, not fill. So let's go ahead and pull that guy off and get this thing drained out. Sounds like a plan. Okie dokies, we have 11 millimeters of ratchet wrench action here. Let's go ahead and get this this plug unplugged. Pull that guy out, spill all the fluid, most of it, and let it ride. There she goes. Pretty decent looking fluid. A little dark, but it's here for service, so we're gonna service it. So while this drains out, I'm gonna go ahead and grab looks like an 8 millimeter and an electron wrench, and we'll start pulling these perimeter bolts out of the front cover here. More gravity. All right, so we're gonna have to deal with like this close quarters combat view right here, because we're right under the bumper, next to the subframe, in the wheel well. There's really not a lot of space. There's so little space that it almost made this endeavor like not worth recording. But I know that many of us, myself included, have not had one of these transmissions apart, and inquiring minds would like to know what's going on inside of here. So we're gonna bite the bullet and deal with the difficult filming situation in order to gain a glimpse at the internals on this particular transmission unit. So I shall start by pulling all the fasteners out. I'm not sure if I need to remove the valve body or not. Some of my literature says yay and some says nay, so we'll see. Get on there. This is a bad start. I'm stripping bolts out. So I found a couple 13s and a couple 10s in here. There's a 13 up there. So it's not just the 8s. The 13s have studs on them. It's like a stud and a bolt combined. And the reason for that is they're using these studs as a bracket for that wiring harness that was is attached right here. Let me pull this one out, I'll show you. Yeah, see how we're doing that? Got a stud with a bolt on the bottom of it. Clever way to reduce parts count, I suppose. And I do not think there are any... No, never mind, there's one. I hope I can do this without pulling that motor mount. That would be unfortunate, says I. Here, let's go in there, see if that's an 8. Yeah, that's an 8. We're gonna switch to an 8 deep well wobbly socket here. It's probably gonna be a little easier to dig all this stuff out. I can't reach. Oh no. Here, how about a magnet? There we go. Okay, another 13 up here in this corner. There she is. That's the stud. And then we got 2 10s on the side. So switch out to the tools, or switch out the tools. Words. Not a 10. That's because I grabbed an 11. Trying again. This is for a bracket for these hoses here. So now we have nuts on top of our studs. Pull this bracket out. That's tight. Two more 13s behind it. We should be dripping fluid any second now. Not yet. Okay, going up for the last one. There were 2 more under this hose. I did those without recording it, just because there was nothing to see. I'm getting the last one. I believe that's the whole shebang. Yep, so now I'm gonna get behind this with a little like chisel or pocket driver or screwdriver, something like that, flashlight. We're gonna crack this thing loose and get it off the case. Now, to prevent losing control of the situation here, I'm gonna put in 1 fastener on either side. That way, when this thing cracks free, it doesn't just fly off and makes a big mess everywhere. So what I shall do, get behind it, like right here. Got a sharpened little pry bar chisel thing. I'm gonna get behind it and separate the cover from the aluminum case. The seal is made of a like sealant, so it's kind of glued on. Yeah, we're spraying fluid everywhere. It's gross. There, over here is much better. We have much better visuals over here. There's no haze from the light. It's spraying me with fluid. That one's bending, not cool. Yeah. Okay, let's try something else here. We need to apply some pressure on this. So what I'm gonna do is tap a pocket driver in. There we go. Now we've got a little bit of separation happening and a mess to go with it. That's cool. But now I can get behind this a little better and kind of work it some. Tapping on it wasn't working because what was happening is when I tapped on it, the case would, or the cover would flop back and it would smack against the housing here and then squirt out a bunch of fluid. So it was making a mess on me. Let's pull this bolt back out. And that other one. because now I've got control of the situation, I think. Is this gonna make me remove the motor mount? I bet it is. Oh, no, yes, no, maybe so. I think I need to pull them. Nope, I got her. There she is. Now we're almost getting somewhere. Got it. So here's our valve body. I caught it. Flashlight tried to go away, but I caught it. Anyway, here's our valve body. If we look right up here, you see that connector? Little plug right there? That's the plug for our range selector switch. Okay, let's move up top here and take a leak. Let's take a leak on this thing. Let's take a look. Hard to see, but that's our range selector connector right there. I can't tell how that disconnects at this exact moment. Yeah, I don't really feel the release tab on it. And if I do, it's not moving. Was that it? Yeah, there we go. Got her. Okay, so now we can pull this wire out. And that guy is just integrated into the valve body here. So we need to pull this valve body out of the trans next. That's coming out. Okay, so we've let the truck down. I'm gonna have to get access to the top side of it here because I need to remove that lower radiator hose that was kind of in the way. Now, if we look down in this hole right here on the passenger side, as I throw my flashlight on the ground, there it is. Looking down in this hole right here, we can see way down yonder, there is a petcock valve right there, little yellow looking guy. There's a petcock valve to drain the radiator. Now I've cracked it open and we can see there's very little fluid flow. It's because fluid can't go anywhere because the system is sealed. So we crack open the surge tank cap and look at that. We got full flowage action. So now we can get this radiator drained out. All that nasty coolant out of there. Look at that stuff. That's gross. Looks like motor oil. Yeah, we'll get that nasty coolant out of here. That's getting changed as well. And then I can go to work on that hose. So let's do that from up here at the top side so we can see what's going on. Well, I guess I better get this electron box out of. I just threw another socket on the ground. Oh, no way. Look at that. I put my socket right here and it went in there. I did not realize there was a hole. This is not working out for me. Anyway, as I was saying, I need to get this electron box out of the way. So, bro, you can't make this up. I quit. Take 37 of removing a battery. Like, I can't even get my joke out without ruining it. The electron box, go away. I was trying to be clever and call a battery something else and made a clown out of myself instead. How about that? And cue the troll comment. Where you at, troll? I know there's a couple of them out there. Yeah, you've been a clown the whole time. I've been by myself in the shop for too long today. I'm losing my mind. Hey, look at that one out of there. Built to last. Duralast gold battery. Made with actual gold. We ran out of lead. It's not environmentally friendly, so we got to build these batteries out of gold. Or at least we're pricing them as if they're made out of gold. Dave, heads up. I have the radiator drain valve open on your side over there. So if you go in there, it's open. I've got to pull this heater hose or radiator hose off. Bear with me, camera people. There's a PCV hose stuck to this. And now it's unstuck. There it was. Put that over here. And I believe next I have a battery tray that I must extract. That's kind of in the way too, so let's get this out of here. I don't know about all that. There seems to be some fasteners below this. They're not looking too happy in there. Not at all. Here, let's pry bar some corrosion. See if I can't find some bolts. Found one or two. This is not making my life any easier, I can tell you that. Dave, you see this, man? Look at all this corrosion in here. There are fasteners under this somewhere. Look at that.
Buried in the dirt.
I don't even know what that is. That's battery corrosion. Like very unchecked. Yeah, that's not even a bolt anymore. It's just a round piece of metal. This is not cool. There's 7 millimeters now. Started off at 8 and corroded down to 7. That actually came out, I think. Yeah, look at that thing. That actually came out of there. Look at that. That's impressive. Let's see, that one's a 10. That one looks like a 10, and this one, I don't even know what this one is. An 8, 7, a 10, 5/16. That one's got to be an 8 because it's not a 7. This is kind of an 8. Maybe it's 5/16 and I was right the first time. Okay, that one's still an 8. Gnarly. And those other ones, those definitely look like 10s. Let's see. 10 millimeter. Actually, we're gonna do it with a 9. This is a 9. They look like 10s, but they're probably not. What if they all started at 10s and one made its way down to 7s? Nope. Not coming off. Let's try the 8. That one's not gonna do it. It slipped. I got that one. That one came out. Cool. But that guy, that's no joy. So let's switch it to some kind of standard size. Let's try 5/16. That's close to an 8. Now, let me try a different 7 on this one. It's one way of doing it. Nope. I wonder if I just like tweak it really hard off to one side. Nope. I hammered another socket onto that one. It's kind of gripping. Turning. Come on, break free, please. I'm twisting the bracket that this is mounted to. I'm gonna break this bolt off. Oh, is it coming out? No way. Dave, I came out, look at this. Thing's coming loose. That's, did not see that coming. Woo! Look at that thing, corroded to nothing. It's even got like a corrosion little biscuit that came with it. Let's get this out of here. Now let's see. There's a piece of wire attached to it. unwiring the wire. Okay, not coming off. Man, it's fighting me. Got a trim tool here. Come out. There. That was easy, right? Battery tray, 2/10. Okay, so now I can get access to what I need here. We're gonna pull these radiator hoses off. This one especially has to go away, and it feels empty. Good. Let's get these guys. What's up, Dave?
Forward ground connection.
Yeah?
So when you have a bolt with a stud, and then the nut is on the end of the stud, then there's a wire in the middle.
Yeah?
So then when you try to undo the nut, the whole bolt loosens, and then you spin the wire around and break the end off.
Oh, like one of these where you got the bolt going in, and then the ground goes here, and then there's a nut going over the studded part, and you try to take the nut off, and it tries to take the whole bolt off. So then it spins your wire around and ruins it.
Yep.
And then it's too thin to put a wrench behind it because the eyelet for the connector's there, and you can't get it apart. Yeah, that's
Been there, done that.
the forward ground connection, 100%. I am aware of such things. That's when you just cut the wire off and make a new one later. That's sometimes it's easier to just cut your losses.
Well, I found the other end. I'm gonna undo it.
Oh, from the other side?
Yeah, I'm beating it.
Good man. We're gonna get under these hoses here. I'm talking to you guys now with a hose pick. We saw this in my last Ford hose video. I got a lot of Ford hoses. It's the F150. Okay, stash that over here. Let us unclamp the next one. Slide that down. All the way around. The reason I'm getting behind this with this hose pick here is these hoses tend to bond a little bit with whatever they're hooked up to, and you can't just slide them off. You've got to break that bond. That way we can move it and not work against friction. Now with all that stuff out of the way, we have exposed the transmission shift lever. It's this guy right here. That's the shifter cable that runs inside. We need to get this lever off of the shaft because that shaft is going to have to be removed in order to get the switch out of its position here. So what I need to do so we don't break the cable is we have to figure out how to stay that lever, meaning hold it there, and break the nut loose at the same time. So what I'm going to do, slide that guy down inside right there to hold that lever. We'll just crack it loose right here. There we go, it turned. So now the nut is loose. Come on. We'll grab the lever, kind of wiggle it. It's free, set it aside, good to go. So this next part is where I get a little unclear with the shop manual because I can't decide whether I have to take this valve body out or if I can squeeze that range selector switch. You see better, a little better right in there. If I can squeeze that guy out without removing the valve body. Now I know that shaft right there has to come out, and I know that this spring right here has to come out. That's in the instructions. So what I've got to do, we pull out this 8mm right here, and that should let that spring come out of there. Let's move this wire out of our way. Get down in there with a wrench on an 8, unclickage. It's tighter than I thought. Let's see here. There we go. this is the spring for the detents. Like, you know how when you shift, you feel that like that click into position? This is what allows that click to take place. It kind of holds the linkage and prevents it from loosely flopping around. So we pulled this spring out of here. Now the hard part, there's supposed to be like a retaining pin on that shaft, and I can't really get a good picture on what that retaining pin looks like, and we can't see that retaining pin. So I'm gonna have to just figure that out, I suppose. Anyway, here's our spring. We pull this guy out. Yeah, this is what rides. It's like a half moon shaped. It's almost like a gear. And then this thing sits in those pieces of gear. So when you change positions, those little gear pieces will rotate over this little wheel right here. And then this will hold that thing in position after you change your gear. That's what this guy is designed to do. So we'll set that right there. Now, like I said, there's supposed to be like a pin or something. I don't even know if I can feel it in there. Yeah, let's see if we can see. Let me get you guys down in the hole. Some light in there. Yeah, there's the bottom of the pin. There's the top of the shaft is like right here. Yeah, right there. That means there should be the bottom of the shaft like right here, I think. But I don't see a retainer pin in that position unless I'm looking at it dead on and I just can't see it from my point of view. I'm actually looking through the camera to get eyes on that. Okay, I think I sort of have this figured out some. I need to raise this thing back up in the air. Engage the black subscribe button now. We're gonna go back up and try it from the bottom side. There is a roll pin that holds on to a collar that is around the shaft. And I have to remove that roll pin out, leaving the collar in place, and then I can pull the shaft out through the top of the case and then extract the sensor. That's I think that's how I have to do this. At least that's how the instructions say. That should be good right there. And I know I'm not on the locks, but we're going right back down in a second. We're fine. Man, I can't see anything from down here. It was better off up top with a mirror. Yeah. Yeah, it said the instructions say it's easier to do from the bottom, but I'm not feeling that. I've made a determination that since there's a roll pin up there holding that in, I'm not going to be able to get it out. Not with this valve body in the way, so unfortunately, I'm going to pull this valve body out. We've got 22 fasteners. The instructions say they are of different lengths, but they've all got to come out. I am not thrilled about pulling a valve body. But I'm gonna do it.
Am I doing this right? Hope so. There's one couple down here. think they're all loose. Let's see. Give this a bit of a, like a pry right here and see if it moves. No, there's one right there. I missed one. One right there. Okay, how about now? Oh, there's one. It was hiding in the dark. Another one hiding in the dark. How many is that? Is that 22? The book says 22. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Not 22. I'm missing a couple.
Yeah, I was just looking at the paperwork. There's a 10 millimeter on a stud right here. And I thought there was one other that I missed. Yeah, there it is. That one up there hiding out. Like I said, there's that 10 right there. Let me get that 10 out of there and I think we're good. I'm assuming we're good. We're starting to run more fluid out of this thing. Yep. Oh yeah, a lot of fluid coming out. Look at that. Super sketch-o-matic. Let's not drop all the bolts out of this thing. Push them back in. Okay. That should have been my last one. Let's go ahead and walk this thing out. And what are we held up on? What is this? Tell you what. Start pulling them out. Different length. Different length. I know what I'll do. We fast forwarded. I pulled all the bolts out except for like 1 or 2. These ones seem to be a little captured, but that's okay. What I did is I took a printout of the face of the valve body where all the bolts go, and I pointed them at their hole location on top of this piece of paper. So you move them back, you can see where each one of the bolts goes. They're mostly all the equal length. There's just a couple unequal length units, but I believe now with all those bolts out of there, I can kind of wiggle on this thing and get her to come out. So there are there's 2 more in here. I wasn't sure if they were hanging on to it, keeping it from falling out, so I left them there. I think that might have been one of them. And this little seal here, which is being replaced tomorrow, that's also in the way of this one coming out. Not a huge deal, but worth talking about, I guess. So, valve body is free. Oh, spilling fluid. That's better. Oh, good. No check balls fell out of it. Okay. Gravity, dropping stuff. That's okay. I have set the unit down on the bench. We're going to get around to that in a second. Let's pull the plate out and set that over to the unit. And here is our casting on the inside. Nothing fell out of it. Got a spring up there hanging out. Nothing on the back side of this unit, so that looks good. I'm gonna go set this next to the valve body. Here, you guys come with me. You don't need to stare at this transmission the whole time. Valve body's right over here. That's the correct orientation of the plate. We can see it's similar, all those passages. That's all fluid routing passages, and fluid flows through those depending on the position of all the solenoids. See that? These solenoid packs, that's what connects to that connector that comes through the cover that connects to that piece of wiring harness. Making sense? So what we need to do, there's a pin, like a roll pin on this pin. I need to dig that roll pin out of here to get this switch out. This thing's killing me, man. This is not a fun switch to replace. Wow. Good job, Ford. Okay, so now I have a pair of vice grips right here, good ones. I got really nice jaws on them. I have those vice grips on that pin right there, but that's a pressed in pin and I gotta get it out. So what I'm thinking, if I can maybe pry on these vice grips somehow, some way, we can work that pin and pull it out of that collar. And once that pin's out of there, we're in good shape, but I gotta figure out how to get it out. Don't even ask how I'm gonna put it back in yet. I haven't gotten that far, but I'm gonna try to get it out. So I think if I can, like I said, pry bar that enough, it should yank that pin out of there. It's pressed fit, so we really don't know. There's no like measured spec on it or tightness level, but I got a curvy pry bar here. I wonder if I can pry on that little that rivet or whatever. Let's just push that in. No. Curvy angular pry bar for the win. Is it gonna work? Figure if I hold down on the grips, pull those down, it'll give me the right kind of force. Ooh, it's moving. Is it coming out? It's either coming out or my vice grips are sliding off the pin. I can't tell because we can't see. I mean, can you guys see? Yeah, you can kind of see. I have a lot of light in there, so this might be distorting the camera a little bit. If that's the case, je regrette en français. Come on, do something. Do something for me up there. Let's try something a little different. Reach around the engine. Oh, yeah, baby, look at that. There she is. That's the roll pin. Woo, okay. We're committed now. We've got semi-permanent parts have been removed. There's a shaft here that's got to come off. Yep, that's going to come out. Tell you what, let me reach up, pulling the shaft up and out. It's all about to come apart here in a second. You can't see, but that shaft is almost all the way out. And now, got a, where does this go? Yeah, I hope I didn't break it. That would not be fun for me. So yeah, this thing right here, it slides. It's got a little, see that little relief right there? There's a similar little deal on this rod that goes like so. I hope this goes back, and I hope pieces didn't fall out of it. If pieces fell out, I'm kind of screwed. I don't think they did. Hope not. I don't know where this thing went. It plugs into something, doesn't it? Yeah, I really hope I didn't just screw the pooch. I might have just ruined my entire day. Let me just check what I just foobarred and make sure it's all back where it's supposed to be. That, need more light back there. Yep, that's good. It's back in its hole. Okay, we're gonna leave that alone for now. Very good. Okay, so here's where we're at. That's our unit, and I don't think this is gonna come apart. I wouldn't mind dissecting it, but it does not appear to be serviceable, so we're not gonna take that apart. Waiting on the new one to show up. I ordered it this morning. I'm a little PO that it's not here right now. So I really have no choice to just kind of let this stuff hang out in limbo for a while. All the bolts are set up.
So there's an old video of a Detroit diesel that ran away.
Oh, that 8V71 with the turbo on it that the guy, he fires it up and it runs away and he runs over with like some cardboard or whatever. That was a good video. That dude started like an entire runaway diesel trend. After that video was released, everybody was like, oh, I have runaway videos, and then everybody was watching runaway videos. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, so got the pin right here. This is the split pin / roll pin that would not come out. So this thing is actually interference fit into this collar on the sensor. So when we put this thing back together, I've got to figure out how to drive that guy back in. It says to replace it, but here's the problem. I know I can't get one of these. There's no listing for it. This thing has like a tapered into it. See how it gets a little smaller right there? Maybe you can't see it, but it gets a tiny bit smaller towards the business end of it to sort of line it up with its hole there. So I'm reluctant to replace it, because if I try to replace it, I'll have to use a full-size pin, and there's not a chance I'm going to be able to get a full-size pin into this, given the limitations of kind of what we're working with here, because I'm working with, what, 9 inches of space, and if I go in from the bottom, I've got about 12 inches of space, but I have to reach up about 18 inches and then make a corner. So I'm going to reuse this pin, even though I'm not supposed to. It'll be fine. It's not going to come out, and if it does, then, well, I learned something new. I think it'll be okay. Anyway, like I said earlier, the problem is I don't have that switch yet. It has not arrived. I ordered it this morning, but it is not here yet. So I'm just gonna have to leave this whole situation kind of just chilling in limbo until the morning when that replacement unit shows up. So that being said, I guess I'm gonna close this video out and kind of leave this as a two-parter. Ideally, I'd like to finish it today, but that's not going to happen, so we're not going to have a two-part video. So that being said, guys, I'm going to close it out. Like I said, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that situation on that transmission over yonder. Hopefully Dave can have most of that top-end engine work done by the time that new switch comes. That way we're not kind of competing for space in front of the hood there. So guys, as always, in closing, I'd like to thank you one more time for watching this video. Do not forget to engage that like and subscribe button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later. End of video, end of day, end of transmission. I mean, not really. I'm going to fix the transmission. No worries.